energy mode, like distraction mode right now.
I heard you on that. What's good?
What's good?
It's Monday! Monday! Man. Do you see the waves, people?
See the waves?
What's good, Adriana? Come on up.
Hey, what's up to Adriana? Hi.
What's good? We're about to get it on and cracking. Yo!
Yo.
How you doing?
My God, it's Monday. This day's flown by.
I need a therapist. I need a therapist too.
I got you, boo.
I got some demons that
She's my...
I literally just got out of therapy. I just had therapy right now, and now I'm here.
Was it fire?
It was amazing.
Muy necesito. I'm excited for our session tomorrow.
Yes, that's gonna be great. I have so many good things left.
Yay! Starting therapy tomorrow, like dead ass.
Right, like follow someone, just write about them.
Yes, let's go. No, but I love therapy. I'm starting tomorrow in my first session.
Oh my God, congrats. It's literally so amazing. I have nothing
Wait, Meg, you said you just started therapy?
Yeah, so through work I get like free sessions, and I wanted to sign up for a while, and then like last week I was like, honestly, like I'm just gonna do it. So I have my first session tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm excited. I love it. I haven't done therapy in years, so I feel like it's
so lit. I'm still yet to officially try therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Like official therapy, because I mean my friends and family be giving me crazy games.
Facts. I think it's like just so cool to have like a safe space where you can just like share everything with someone. And I know coaching, we do a lot of that too. It's kind of in a different realm, so it's just so cool to like unload to someone else that can like create that.
Oh,
Facts. No, those are the facts. What's good, everybody that's joining? Can y'all hear me?
yeah, we can hear you. I think Meg got off. If you want.
Oh wait, yeah. Go ahead. Y'all do the intro, because I don't know if it's coming out or not.
Yeah, I can definitely start us off. Whoever's watching right now, I don't know if they saw my post, but today we're talking about body image. I know this is a pretty sensitive topic for a lot of people, and it's very current because social media makes it really, I guess, obvious that there are people constantly trying to look their absolute best, and if not perfect, on social media. Meg, I know you and I have already talked about this, how it's like there are so many tools out there right now that exist to like make people look so good online, and it's like very difficult to not look at these images and, you know, have negative thoughts about yourself, or even like just constantly be thinking about how you're not good enough. And even people with amazing bodies, luckily I feel like after the pandemic I've definitely seen a lot more body positivity on this platform. I don't know if you guys can agree with that, but I definitely feel like it's gotten a little bit better. But again, there's still people that most of the feed is flooded with, you know, influencers or Instagram models, and like that's what they're absorbing all the time, making them feel like their body isn't good enough. So Meg, I don't know if you want to start us off with something, or if you have a question that we want to start off with, but I want people to know exactly kind of that we all three of us have suffered with this, so that's why we're speaking on it. It's not that we're kind of like past it, if anything. Like we all still currently experience this. We want people to know that it's a real thing and that all of us are going through it.
Mm-hmm. No, I literally love everything you said, and like I know that all of us are like about body image and just like helping people understand and see themselves in a different light, and like also just understanding that so much of the like who we compare ourselves to is face tuned, or like people are taking pictures of their best angles. Like none of us are out here 24/7 posting our worst angles on Instagram. So something, you know, like is we compare ourselves to people's best angles, and we're comparing our worst angles to that. So like I'm excited to dive into this topic and just share any resources we have and just share our journeys and everything with body image. I love this.
Facts. No, and I'm excited to get all of the different angles, because I do feel like Adriana said, everybody has their own experience with this, and You know, it's actually interesting because, like, for me, it wasn't until recently that I realized, like, yo, like, this was actually a unconscious struggle for me. Like, especially being an ex-athlete, seeing other athletes, right? And like, you just kind of, in a masculine way, I tried to take it and be like, all right, bet, like, I'm just gonna, and then you're almost working to achieve a body type that's not even yours, and that's the
Mm.
experience that I've been through. Um, and so, no, I'm super excited to hear some gems from y'all and some like practical things, because I know, like, with the social media comparison, I do think it's like it has been more detrimental in the feminine community. At least by how much it's talked about. So I'm excited to hear like the other side of the story, and then honestly like just give input on all of it. But my first question, just to get us kicked off, is like, where where or what are the biggest things, just because let's give people the best gems right out the gate. Like, what are the biggest things that have helped you align yourself with a positive self-image?
Okay, this is a really good one. And I think Meg and I can both agree with this. Actually choosing physical activity that you enjoy. And that's a key word, enjoy. Like, if you are doing something because you see someone else doing it, and maybe let's just, for example, let's just talk about weight training. For me, weight training used to be a lot scarier. Like, I used to be embarrassed to go to the gym and like lift heavy and like be in the free weight section because it was really overwhelming. And I always felt like people were lifting way heavier than me, etc. And my dad actually really helped me get over that. He was like, no, like, it does not matter where you're at. We're going to go into the free weight section and we're going to do this. And I really appreciate him for pushing me to do that, because he reminded me it's about strength. It's about where you're at and like what makes you feel strong. And so over time, I started to look at weightlifting as not necessarily like a punishment or anything like that. And I truly started to look at it as something that was making me stronger, and in turn made me mentally stronger. And I know plenty of girls that, I mean, myself included, they used to literally just do high intensity interval training until I
Yes.
felt dying. Like, straight up, if I didn't do a workout where I felt like I was dying, then like
Yeah.
it was like Meg, you're like, yeah,
Literally
you feel
same.
that?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's literally like same. I went through like the phase, I'm sure like a lot of girls and guys maybe too, where you just do excessive cardio for so long because you're just like trying to like burn fat. And that definitely doesn't feel good. So doing movement that actually feels good to your body. And another thing for me that it has helped me increase my body image and my like body positivity is detaching my worth from my body. So I used to be so focused on like, if I wasn't skinny, then I wasn't worthy of love, that I didn't look good, that like I couldn't show up confidently. And when I started to place my worth in other things like my personality, who I am, things that weren't physical, like part of who I am, that's when my like relationship with my body increased, and how I felt about my body. I felt so much more love, because when you're focused on how you look and you're putting your worth there, you're detached from your body and you're not connected with your body. So you're not tuning in to say like, hey, is this actually making me feel good? Do I actually enjoy eating this food? And you're numbing from your emotions. Like, we could go so deep into this, but one thing is definitely placing your worth in other things outside of your body. Like, you are so much more than your body. Like, who are you? You know, like, are you a bubbly person? Are you introverted, extroverted? Like, where else can you place your worth that's gonna make you feel good?
Meg, it's amazing that you mentioned that, because I think at the end of the day, like, as crazy as this sounds, when people are about to die, like, you're not thinking about your abs or your butt or like how good you looked in a bathing suit. Like, you're literally thinking
Mm-hmm.
about the connections you made, the love that you felt, the moments that you've been able to really show up for yourself and show up for others. And I think like that focus that you're mentioning really changes even the way that you show up for yourself. I feel like if you are
Yes.
constantly thinking about like your body, like everything physical is going to come first. And I don't think like mentally we're meant to lead physically all the time. I think that because of evolution and how things have gone, like now we get to tap into the emotional self way more than people, you know, our ancestors before us. They literally really had to focus on like life or death. Like physical was
Yep.
everything, because if not, like they could die. We're not in that space anymore where we're like, our bodies are not used for life or death scenarios necessarily, but now we put ourselves in these like mental conditions where we think that our bodies are life or death, like this is going to be life or death. And I think, again, like the connection to the body, it stems from like the union between the mind, the spirit.
Yes.
It doesn't necessarily, like, it's not a siloed, it's not a siloed relationship. It's like a united relationship. And I think if you're just leading with the physical, like you're not thinking about all the other two that really make the body like as powerful as it is. And it's super capable. Like they're capable beings.
Yes. And like you saying that, like that's so true, because when you are so focused on your physical, you're then not tuning into yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And there has to be a harmony between all of that. So when you're out of balance with that, that's when you're going to find that you're either overeating, undereating, you're neglecting your health because you're not in harmony with everything. So if you're not tuning in to what does your soul need, like how is your mental health, you're so focused on your physical health, there's an imbalance between all of these things. So it's so important to just center yourself back and take that focus off of the physical and tune more into yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I heard this really cool quote that stuck with me, because you were mentioning like at the end of someone's life, like you're like not thinking about what you looked like, right? There was like a quote that was like, people aren't going to remember like what you looked like or like what your body looked like but they're always going to remember how you made them feel. People will always remember the impact that you left on them. They're not worried about what your hair looked like, what your body looked like, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
Absolutely, Meg. And I think that, again, like going back to the physical and like how you end up like neglecting other parts of your life, that's another reason that holistic health like just spoke so much to me, because
Yeah.
I was definitely a physical first approach for so long, because I think mainly because of the eating disorders and like how unhealthy like growing up in our generation was, where it's like if you weren't looking a certain way, like you could do
Yeah.
sports, you couldn't wear X clothes, like there were so many limitations that it felt like that's what it had to be. And I think now, like if I was talking to my high school self, I would absolutely mention that it's about connecting the spirit and the body and the mind. Like if there's a way that you can connect yourself to your body, it's 100% through your spirit, and like not giving that power away to other people, not letting
Yes.
the TV tell you that cardio is the way to go, or you have to kill yourself doing exercise, you have to be into CrossFit, or you have to do all these other things, and really tune into what makes you happy at that time. I remember the first physical activity that I really, really loved was running, and running like changed my whole life. Like I really felt like for once I was able to listen to myself, and it was when I was running that I fully could tune into what else was going on with me. And I think that's the beautiful part about movement, that a lot of people, again, like they're doing something that they don't really connect with, and they can't get to that flow state part where you're like actually appreciating how your mind is working while you're doing this exercise or even after.
Yes. And like your relationship with working out or moving your body will literally change when you start to do it because you love your body versus doing it out of hatred. It becomes a habit because you're like, hey, I want to feel good today, so how am I going to get my movement in? And I even experienced this last year because I had gained some weight and I started just getting really hard on myself, hard on my body. Oh, I have to get to the gym. And I literally didn't go to the gym for like 3 to 4 months because it felt like the biggest chore. I felt like I was going through depression and everything. And then when I started to finally say like, I'm sick of feeling this way and I just want to feel good, it was slow. I didn't push myself to go have a heavy workout, but I started just moving my body more and remembering why I loved working out so much. Why I literally felt like I used to be addicted to the gym was because it felt so good to move my body from a place of love versus going in there because I was like, I have to get this many steps in and I have to do cardio and I have to burn this amount of calories versus like you know what, I'm going to crush this workout today because I want to push myself to the limit, and I want to, you know, I want to lift heavy. And that's how I've been doing so much better in my workouts, is because I'm trying to like grow in strength, and I'm not in there like, oh my God, I have to do this today. No, I get to do this today because
No.
I want to move my body.
And you said the two key words I was thinking about. You can't change a body that you hate. You can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I forgot
Yes.
that's that quote, but you really can't hate yourself into change. You have to love yourself into change. And I think when I heard that quote, I remember being like, oh my God, like that is literally a mental block that people place on themselves. It's like that pressure, that like hatred of self that keeps you stuck and that keeps you unsatisfied. And it's like you said, also, you get to do this. I was not ever thinking about like how I get to do something until I literally had a knee injury that left me not able to work out. And during
Yes.
those, I was like, oh my God, I was tripping about like how I have to go do this because I have to have abs and I have to do this. And I'm thinking, I'm like, the fact that my knee is messed up right now really puts everything into perspective. And I'm like, if my knee was good right now, I would be enjoying the heck out of that workout. I would be thanking the Lord that my two legs are working and that I'm not feeling any pain. Like the fact that there are so many people that again are going through pain in their body in general and like gives them fear to work out and everything. Thankfully there are so many different types of movement that exist, but people get stuck in that pain and they're like, oh, I physically can't do it. And for those people that actually can't do it, like we again get the opportunity to move for other people. And I think about that whenever I start a yoga practice. My yoga teacher's like, think about someone you want to dedicate this practice to, and usually like for the people that can't, for the people that really cannot physically do this, it is a blessing.
Gyms. And I feel like off of that too is like understanding like the evolution of the body images that you're gonna go through, and like understanding what's gonna work for you in that season. And that's something that I'm learning right now. And I love what y'all said. I forgot who said it, but the first answer of like find uh, workout activity that works for you. And that's something that like, once again, going back to the athlete thing, I've been playing basketball so long. Just this year, I've gotten into hot yoga, gotten into mobility, gotten into weight training. Tonight, we're about to go play volleyball. We've been running, like just trying a bunch of different new things and understanding the metaphor that like this exercise has, and like how the same power that you're generating from these different sports, the same things that you're learning from these different activities, how can I apply it into my day to day? How can I how can I take the fact that I haven't missed any of my workout routines for the last 2 months? How can I take that into the social setting with me? How can I, right? And really having that time and energy transmute into so much more than just one workout, just one cardio session, and taking it a step further is something that's really been transformational for me. And the thing that really made that happen was the got to versus get to thing. So, you know, y'all really have been saying some things that have been like, oh my God, like that
Totally.
really resonates. Yeah.
I love that, Juju. And I think like what you're talking about, creating it so that it expands to your social life, like how you just said, group sports, great opportunity to make someone who's maybe not very great at scheduling social connections or like getting together with their friends because maybe they live far away, or you know, and it's hard to go and meet friends. I think that's a perfect way to open yourself up to a new social circle. In college, intramural sport was really like the thing you did with a ton of friends, and I did find it so much easier to connect with people. Like the weeks where I was studying my ass off and like really like I did not feel like going out to a party, flag football was like the spot. And like I think again that type of social connection can bridge, you know, connections that maybe you wouldn't make in a bar, or connections that you wouldn't make in a club with blasting music. It
Fact.
creates a different type of connection. And
Fact.
I think again, group sports also is a great opportunity to like learn from other people in a different way. So I
Mhm.
am so happy to hear that you're doing things, because as a professional athlete, I feel like you look at things so regimented and you look at things like very structured, and it almost makes sense
Yes.
to like go the opposite way after that. And
Facts. Literally.
I think group sports also, since you came from professional group sport, the connection of a group sport speaks to you. So I'm glad that you're doing that.
I appreciate it. And something that just came to me as you're saying that is like the importance of understanding, like you have to accept that change. You have to accept that, all right, this may not be normal to me, but I'm willing to go into the unknown, right? And I feel like that's something that more people, I suggest, like, use your self image, your body image where you are currently as a catapult to where you want to go, right? And a lot of the times, like last week we were talking about comparison. If you do catch yourself comparing yourself to these different online influencers, comparing yourself to your best friend that has that body that you want, don't be scared to ask for knowledge, right? And I'll use myself as a prime example. Jonah, my roommate business partner, literally one of the biggest fitness influencers, right? Boom. One of the biggest fitness influencers online. It could be easy to be like, dang, like he has the body of everybody's dreams. He's getting all this love from it. But no, as soon as I want to make a change, I'm like, yo, Jonah, what would you recommend me to do? Or how did you get so big? How did you tone up your body? Like, don't be scared to ask for knowledge for where you want to go.
Totally. I think I don't know about you, but how many like different types of fitness influencers do you follow, or do you find yourself like following the same type of women? That makes
I think I do follow a similar type of women who like all preach like the healthy, intuitive approach that share like nutritious recipes, and all of them really do focus on like the mind, body, and soul. Because for me, like I know like some people track their macros, some people don't. I have a general knowledge of macros. I just don't personally like track mine. I take more of an intuitive approach, but I think it's an awesome tool. But I don't follow too many people that do that, since like that's not really what I'm looking for. I love the overall approach of like mind, body, soul. What are we doing for our mind today? What are we doing for our body and our soul? What about you?
And I think like that's super powerful, because a lot of people are so used to following only one type of fitness influencer. And I encourage people on here, go
Mm-hmm.
find people that have a message you resonate with, not just
Yes.
what they look like, but literally their messaging. Like, I've read some captions from fitness influencers that low key terrify me. Like, I read it and I'm like, this sounds freaking intense. Like, I'm not really vibing with
Unhealthy.
it. Really extreme, or like really condescending. Like, there's so many like hidden messages in the way that people communicate, and I think a lot of people just see the physical and they're like, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go with whatever they're saying. And
Yes.
I'm like, there are so many people out there that have a good message and that also have a body that's real and a body that's go Jonah, yes, like that, honestly, like have a message that is for all audiences, if that makes sense. Like, it's not
Mm-hmm.
singling out a certain type of person. And I also really, really love women who not only have the intuitive approach, but also really emphasize that there are so many ways to get to X outcome. There is no like one singular way. And if you also remember, like, you have to meet yourself where you're at. If you struggle a lot with eating, you don't want to follow an influencer that's literally going to put you in a box of like what you need to
Yes.
eat, track every single thing. Like, know what your triggers are. Like, know what is going to set you off in a negative way, and know what is going to encourage you, and choose to seek out the people that are going to give you knowledge, but also not going to pressure you or make you feel less than, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's actually so important. Like being aware of who you're following, and like you just said, knowing your triggers, because if you're following an account, like say you're struggling with disordered eating and you know that you have unhealthy habits, you are trying to overcome and fix that. it's probably not in your best interest to go follow someone who's cutting and always posting like, hey, I'm in this deficit, like these are low calorie foods, because that's not for you. That's not good
Totally.
for you at that.
No, absolutely. And I think, again, there is nothing wrong with reaching out and looking for different kinds of information, but I think we're so easy to go for the physical that we forget that there's so many different moving parts to fitness in general. And you may see them posting about this set cut, but do you know how their energy is on the day to day? No. Do you know how the quality of their relationships are? No.
Their
Like,
hormone health, gut health, like
exactly. There are so many different moving pieces to this, and I 100% have also seen fitness influencers who kind of are selling a product, and I understand like you have to make
yes.
money, but at the same time it's like really saddening that people will truly believe that like one product is going to transform their whole fitness game. We need to be
Facts.
more realistic about this, and we need to be honest with how bodies really work.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Yeah.
These are the facts.
Literally, literally. And like a lot of times it's the basics that will get you the results. You don't need all these supplements. Supplements are there to supplement, but you need to be doing the work. Hello, Michelle. You got to be
Yes,
doing the work. Is your sleep good? Are you getting a nutrient dense diet? And are you drinking water? Right? Like a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this too. We want to look for a quick fix to our body image struggles to either lose the weight, build muscle, XYZ. But I think it's really important to look at it in the long run. And I like to say, like, zoom out, right? Like, zoom out of your reality right now and see, like, where do you want to be? Where do you want to be in a couple months? Is everything okay? Where do you want to be in a couple months, and what steps can you take each day to get there?
and also
Facts.
sustainable. Like Meg, you said, like looking long term, like what do you actually see yourself doing in 20 years? Like if you're looking at like someone who strictly does keto and like you're looking at that and being like, telling me I'm gonna have to buy this, every day. Like, am I gonna be able to do this long term?
No, I tried that. No, I really
Question.
didn't.
We have a
Facts.
question in the chat. It says any relation to having difficulty waking up, lack of energy in the morning. Michelle,
Mm,
so many different
we
root
got
causes.
some shit
Yes.
for that. We
But I
got
would say
some
that
shit for
Meg
that.
and I touched on a couple things. Quality of sleep, huge. Hydration, and how much artificial sugar are you taking in throughout your day? There is nothing that'll mess up your sleep more than blue light and artificial sugar. So
Yes.
going back to the basics on that could be a big key
Stress
on that.
levels.
Yeah, and I think also this is something I'm going to put Juju on tomorrow. I'm really excited to talk to him about this, but the power of literally avoiding all blue light and all technology an hour before you actually have to go to sleep. This is a game changer, and creating like a soft environment for you to prep sleep. For me, taking a hot shower before going to bed immediately puts me in like that, okay, it's time to relax. It's time to bring the energy down, and hot showers are really good at putting you into that relaxed state so that you can begin to prep your body for sleep. All of us know that, to wake up in the morning, a lot of people need alarms. So I am one that also is an alarm person, but I make it such a point to turn my whole screen to red light so that my eyes aren't, carrying all that energy from the day. And it really has helped me, my body prep for sleep. But there's so many other things. I think hydration is
Yes.
so key.
Mm-hmm. And I like so many people, we all talk about like morning routines, and I don't think we talk enough about like creating
Nighttime.
an evening routine for you as
Mm-hmm,
well.
mm-hmm.
Like, what are things that relax you? Is that eating dinner a little bit earlier, taking that hot shower, and then spending 30 minutes to an hour doing some self care, reading a book, putting away your electronics? Like, just like you get up and you have that routine, how can you create one in the evening for you that kind of winds you down before bed so you can enhance the quality of your sleep is super important.
Facts.
Definitely. And I think like
And
how you mentioned being aware that Apple watches and devices near you, like it's true. We have a laptop, we got a TV, we got an Apple Watch, we got who knows, all these things that are connected to
Yeah.
Wi-Fi. My friend Melly, she straight up unplugs her Wi-Fi every night That honestly I can't do because my whole building is like tied, the Wi-Fi is tied to the building, so I cannot do this. But it's a really great, easy thing
Yeah.
that if you are suffering with the quality of sleep, like maybe unplugging your Wi-Fi overnight could definitely help.
Or
And
your phone on airplane mode
yes,
too.
that's a good one. She said she struggles with acid reflux. Okay, there are so many herbs that help with acid reflux. We need to get on another vibe, and we're gonna talk about this also in our Blossom Wednesday calls for the show.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing for the sleep thing. Download an app called Sleep Cycle. But there are a few nuances with Sleep Cycle. It tracks your sleep. So if you're not cool with your sleep being tracked, don't do it. But the beautiful thing about Sleep Cycle is it wakes you up when you're most awake within a 30-minute frame. So say I want to wake up at 6, but it's the best to wake me up at 5:15 because of the sleep cycle that I was in.
Yes.
Then it'll wake you up then, and you'll wake up because even if you wake up at 6, you got 8 hours of sleep, everything was perfect, but your alarm was triggered, and then you woke up frantic. Now you're gonna be waking up anxious, waking up stressed, waking up, oh snaps, you're gonna already feel behind. So try that. And then another thing that I wanted to drop on y'all, uh, off of the meet yourself where you're at, is continue to meet yourself where you're at, y'all. I feel like that's, with working with Jonah for the last 2 years and all of our like online clients that have been making weight loss and weight gain transformations, a lot of them would struggle with body dysmorphia. And then what we started to realize as their coaches was like, oh, okay, the physical piece, that's easy. That's just like putting the right workouts together with the right nutrition together. Like that's easy. The body's gonna take care of that. Now the mental and understanding, like your mind has to be progressing with that. Your mind has to be progressing with your body, because if not, you're going to physically be making change, but worthy wise, you still don't feel like you're worthy of that love. You may have got that six pack or that line or that the glutes that you've been working on, but you still don't feel confident at work, or you still don't feel attractive when you're talking to X, Y, and Z. But if you're constantly affirming, my work is working, my work is showing, I am worthy of my dream body, I am in my dream body, I'm progressing towards my dream body, and having that mental be on that same pace as the physical, that's where the true transformation is. Because ultimately, will your body always have something that could improve or change? 110,000%. Does your mental always have something that you could improve, heal, and change? 110,000%. But our feeling can be consistent. And is it going to be consistent? No. But that's our job, and that's what these different things should be doing for us. These different gym regimens that we have, lifestyle, nutritional lifestyles that we adopt, and all of that. It's all about the feeling. Like, figure out what feels good for you, right?
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Like how you mentioned, like I'm telling you now, the maybe the thinnest I ever was, I will guarantee I was not the happiest I ever was.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
there's a middle ground where like your mind's in it, your body's in it, your soul's in it, and you're doing it for you because you know that that's gonna lead to a longevity in your life, a quality of life that you will have. I tell this to my family members all the time. Like, I don't want you to work out so you have like perfect bod. I want you to work out so that you have the energy to be part of my life for a long time, for a really long time. And like actually, be able to enjoy it without relying on medication, without relying on doctors and all of these other
Yes.
things that really end up taking a toll on people. And
Yeah.
I have a question for y'all. Have y'all, do y'all have a situation or a story that y'all could tell where you were working to meet somebody else's body image, you got there, and then you just felt unfulfilled, and then kind of how you pivot from there? Either of y'all have a
Mm-hmm.
story on that?
Hell yes. You want to go first, Adriana, or me?
no, Meg, you go.
The first one that comes to me is like I had a major aha moment when like I was constantly like, to me being healthy meant just like losing weight and being skinny, right? And I had this aha moment when I was scrolling through my pictures because I was so like I hated my body. Like I hated my body image. I wasn't in a great place mentally. And I was looking through my photos of older pictures of myself. And I was looking at them and I was like, damn, like I used to look so good. And I had this sudden realization that when I thought I looked so good back at that time frame, I hated my body. And so I started to realize that I started to realize it wasn't about what my body looked like. Because at every point in time, whether I was skinnier or I weighed more, I wasn't happy with my body. And when I realized that, that's when I realized how important the mental component was, because I realized that I'm never going to be good enough. It's a battle that I can never win. And like I had to accept myself as I am. I had to start loving myself as I am. And when you start to do that, I promise you the physical results will come with that, because you are going to be in more harmony and you're not fighting your body. Because when you're fighting your body and you're hating on it every day, you're also creating stress, you're creating inflammation. Like you are like destroying your hormones. Like my hormone health was horrible. I was constantly like so inflamed. I developed rosacea, like so many things. And when I finally started to just take it slow and tune into my body and realize like it's not about what I look like, it's more of a mental thing, that's when I really just started to really create more of like a better body image for myself. And do I still have those bad body image days? Of course, but we all do. We all have those days. But I now know when I have those days that it's not like, oh, I hate my body. It's more of like, I'm not really feeling that great in my body today, but that's okay. I accept it. I'm not going to resist this feeling. And like, how can I make myself feel better today? Maybe that's doing yoga. Maybe it's eating a cookie. Like, who knows? But whatever it is in that moment, just honoring that and honoring my body for where I'm at. So that was
That's powerful. And I think a lot of people can resonate with that, of like looking at pictures, like older pictures, and being like, I thought I looked horrible then too.
yes,
Like, you know, like that is like a definite like common theme. And I have something similar, but it was more so of like I was at a very, I guess, like thin era of mine, but I physically felt still like I needed more energy, like I needed more, something was still, I was unsatisfied, something was still missing. Like it was like
yes,
that was the only thing that was working out for me, was that yeah, I fit into like size 0 or something. I think it was size 0 for a while, and I was just like, yes, but like my personal life could be better, like I could feel better in general. Like I'm not even kidding, like the hormone health thing, I feel like that could be talked about in school. I really don't know
yeah.
why the hormone thing always gets like swept under the rug, but like the human body is so based on hormones and your hormone health, and I feel like no one told me this when it was important.
Right.
And like overly doing cardio, like overly stressing about these things, which is again detrimental to your
Hello,
hormones.
sympathetic state.
Exactly. And then I'm in this like stress mode all the time, thinking, oh, I just need to work out more, creating more stress for the body. And I literally got my cortisol levels checked, and oh my gosh, they were through the roof. And I'm like, oh my God, how? Like, and it was crazy to me because I use exercise as a therapy. Like, to me, therapy is something that soothes me, and I get through some rough emotions, and the gym really did that for me, or running, working out was that for me. So I was like, am I really villainizing the one thing that I think really helped me because I'm just overdoing it, and also stressing myself out because I look at a picture, I don't like the angle, now it's like, what is this all worth? No.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
No, it's literally exhausting. Like you are running on a race that you will never win, because you are going to continue to pick apart every flaw that you will see, and you will never be good enough. Like it is literally like exhausting, right? Like I love, Adriana, how you said like you, even when you were at your thinnest, like you just felt like something was
Yeah.
missing. And I have journaled about that as well during my journey. Like I would write about like when I was struggling with binge eating, I was like, I'm using food because I feel so empty, and I was just trying to fill myself up with something, but the food was just like a mechanism, a coping mechanism for me, because I wasn't empty like as in hungry. I was empty because like I was missing the self-love, like taking care of myself.
100%. I think this is something that we'll definitely cover in further sessions we have, because that was such a big topic in my IIN, like the link we had, was the major causes of cravings, and how literally food is people trying to fill a void, like craving, overly craving and overeating and even undereating is like you're trying to tell yourself something's missing. Your body is literally saying there's a void and you're not paying attention. And this is the only way to get your body's attention is to
Yeah.
signal cues for hunger or cues for sugary food. There's different types. Like if you crave sugar, it means this. If you crave something else, like there's the connection.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
Yeah.
people just
And
blanket it. They're like, yeah.
that's crazy that you say the blanket thing, because now that I'm thinking about it, and the more and more conversations I'll have with y'all, the more I'll become aware of these things. Because, like, for me, for an example, I have a high metabolism, and I've always been able to just, like, eat whatever I want and just, like, get wherever I want with my body. Oh, I want to bulk? Bet, let's bulk. Oh, I want to drop? Oh, let's tone up. And it's always been so easy, but now I'm getting to a point where my metabolism, is it scientifically slowing? Maybe. Am I getting like my is my body image becoming undesirable? Not really, but I've caught myself just like eating, just eating, just eating. Oh, like I'm bored. Let me just go eat. Oh, I feel like I can't get ahead in my business. I'm about to just go. Let me go get a Kit Kat. Let me da 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 da. And just understanding those triggers and just like becoming aware that that's a real thing, that in itself has helped me so much, right? So to anybody listening, as if you watch the replay or these different things that are like hitting home with you, don't stress yourself out about necessarily like, oh, Adriana said that I might be working out too much, or Meg said that I might be eating too much. No, 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 no. Just first take this information and sit with it, and just let it be real. Let where you're at be real, because then from there you're not gonna continue the cycle that you've been in, which has been trying to fix things that aren't even necessarily needing to be fixed right then and there, right? And that's like a plumber coming to fix an electrical problem at your house. Is the plumber valuable? 110,000%. But we're not having water issues. We're having wiring issues, right? So just take these different things that they're talking about that are resonating with you, and sit with them. And true self-validation, true self-love is accepting where you're at and not needing to change it right away, because you'll understand I'm whole and pure no matter what. No matter if this imperfect, even if I just sit here and accept it and I'm still overweight, okay, perfect. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. But now at least I'm with the person of where I'm going,
Yeah.
right?
And like how you're saying, sit with it, see what resonates with you. A lot of people will be so quick to be like, "Oh, I heard this," and so in that case, I'm going to start doing X, Y, Z without even
Facts.
fully accepting the message, the different messages, taking that in, what resonates with you, but also get curious. Don't
Mm,
go and assume that everything you've been doing is wrong, but get curious. Like, get a little bit more information, get different sources of information. Now, what resonates with you? Like, take
facts.
it step by step. And I also think some people think that they want something, like they think they want X body, but what they really want is validation. What they
Mm,
really
Yes.
want is emotional support. What they really
that part.
want is someone who's going to encourage them to find the answers that like themselves. What they really want is someone who actually sees them for who they are as a person. Like there's so many other root things that get turned into no, I want to look really hot.
Mm-hmm.
Like break that down. Why do you
Yeah,
want
why do
to
you
look
want to
hot?
look hot?
Like
Yeah, what's
Mm,
yeah.
where's this coming from?
Yeah, asking those questions is so important. Just keep asking questions. Okay, I want to look hotter. Why is that? So I look good in a bikini. Why is that? Like, keep asking yourself those questions till you get to the root of like what you're really craving. Is it to be liked by others, to be loved? Like, and that's gonna give you so much insight, like so much insight
I
on
mean, that's
yourself.
low key the connection to where your mind and your actions can really line up. Because a lot of people will say they want this, but they can't take action. Why? Because they haven't gotten to the root. They haven't identified why it is that they even want that, and they haven't accepted whether they're actually wanting something else, but just labeling it as something because it's easier, because it's less emotional, because it
mm,
entails less work, quote
mm.
unquote. And really, what their body really wants from them is the other thing that they're just avoiding.
Mm-hmm.
because it's less emotional. That's
Yeah.
powerful right
I mean,
there.
that was what it was for me. I'm gonna be real. It was because it was less emotional. It was there was less baggage. There was less inquiry with myself. So I was like, no, whatever. We're gonna work out until we feel like we're dying. So it's
Yeah.
fine,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Something too that honestly really like I feel like it can be kind of controversial, but this was something that really helped me overcome my bad body image was like for so long I was trying to repress the fact that I was unhappy with my body and kept being like, oh, body positivity, I love my body, like all this. And like I had this epiphany like a couple months ago because I had been struggling, like I was like, oh, I gained weight, like all this. And I was like, okay, it's okay for me to admit that I don't like my body, like where it's at right now. I
Facts.
still love myself. Even though I'm unhappy with it, I can still love myself through this. And it doesn't mean that I'm hating myself in the mirror. But when I really just allowed that thought to surface and be free, I was like, oh, damn, like, wow, okay, I am unhappy with where I'm at. Now that I've accepted that, what steps can I take to get me to where I want to be? But for months, I was like, no, 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 I'm good. I love my body. I was eating all the time at night. I had so many sugar cravings because I'm just stuffing down the feeling that I wasn't happy. And when I finally accepted that, I was like, I felt so free. I was like, oh my God, like I could finally take the steps of action to get to where I want to be. And I love my body. It doesn't mean that I'm hating on it. I just don't like where I'm at right now. And that
Facts.
empowered me to move forward.
Totally.
And that's that's something that's so important throughout whatever journey somebody's going through is that true self-acceptance because for me for so long emotionally I put myself in one box like, oh no, I'm good, and then so by the time I got to good, now good seemed alarming, like, yo, this isn't what I've been saying is good, this is not, so this can't be it. So with what Meg's saying, y'all, like make your own definitions. Like make your own definitions. Like really, that's how you take your power back. That's truly being empowered, is like making
Yeah.
your own
And
definition.
like how
Yes.
you're saying, like, okay, explain to yourself what the definition of this is, and also like where did you get that definition? Did you get it from your parents? Did you get it from society? Did you get it from the influencer that you followed? Where did you get that from? Like
Mm-hmm.
acknowledge
Yeah.
where you got that from. Acknowledge if that's something that you truly think serves you in the long term. Also acknowledge that if you do believe something, it's up to you to decide how you can figure out how to not believe that. And I think that's a long process, like how to stop believing things that were so ingrained into your brain since you were a kid. Like that's been a long process to
Mm-hmm.
unlearn a lot of things and to truly find my own meaning of words and feelings and what that means in the level of importance. Like how important is that to me actually, or is someone else just telling me that this should be important, so I'm like
Yep.
getting all flustered about this, but in reality it's not that important for me. And
And
that
y'all,
is
like be like scientists, like really be like scientists. And a scientific, I don't remember the exact steps of the scientific method, but I remember like you first come up with your question or what you want to research, then you come up with your hypothesis, and then you test it, and then you get results, and then you put it all together, and then you go share your knowledge, right? And day to day, that's what setting your attention is doing, right? That's our hypothesis. All right, today I'm setting this intention, I'm going to be confident, and the different factors that I have right now, I'm where I'm at. Those are the different factors that you're playing with. What opportunities, what results can I create today? And then just keep going back to that method, keep going back to that method. And it's not about finding the right or wrong thing, but it's just a matter of finding like, oh, okay, this felt good. Let me see if I can duplicate that. This felt good. Let me see if I can multiply that. That didn't feel so good. How can I subtract that? That didn't feel good at all. How can I absolutely just completely eliminate that? And then from there, now we become real mechanics and real engineers of our lives, right? So, man,
yeah, I
man.
said that about not feeling good too. I think I also have to distinguish what is the amount of feeling bad that I'm going to understand is either for my own good or for my own bad. Like there are moments that again I wanted to do the work, but really the work meant being uncomfortable and being not okay, because I allowed myself to not be okay,
Mm-hmm.
but telling myself I was okay. And now I'm like, okay, so what really is being okay? And can I handle this amount of time not being okay to then actually feel okay?
Yes. Yes.
I dealt with that a lot because I was like, oh, this doesn't feel good. But I'm like, if I don't finish this process, it's going to keep coming back to me. It's going to keep resurfacing. It's going to manifest itself in all these different ways. And I've had many things that popped up in my life that I'm like, this is that same manifestation, just in a different way, so that I freaking pay attention to
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
feel that.
That's powerful because it's really about, especially with growth, change, self-image, mental health. It's all about how long can I be unintentionally comfortable until I get intentionally comfortable. Because that unintentional comfort and that discomfort, that's all just a perspective, right? And you being in the mirror right now, it may be uncomfortable. You saying affirmations that you don't believe in, it may be uncomfortable. But
Meditate,
if exactly meditating, journaling, getting to the gym, doing all of these different things, it's
uncomfortable.
your mind saying, yo, this is change. But your conscious mind is more powerful than your unconscious mind. So whenever you feel those alarm systems triggering, see what they're protecting, right? Because a lot of the times we have alarm systems protecting some bullshit. We have some alarm systems protecting some shit that's really holding us back. So I kind of, that's going to be my transformational takeaway for y'all is figure out what alarm systems y'all got going right now. Like what are you protecting within yourself that you shouldn't be protecting? What are you holding on to that you shouldn't be holding on to? What is that self-identity that you've been holding on to? What's that negative comment that you've been holding on to for all these years? And from there, release that and
Yeah, like
watch the opportunity that comes.
what's the story that you're telling yourself? Like, how many times have you told that story and still been not with the results? It's like, what part of the story do we need to change? And also, like, about being uncomfortable, it's almost like putting yourself, again, a pressure cooker. Like, you got to put the rice in the cooker. Same thing. If you trust yourself and know that you're going to be putting yourself in this discomfort, knowing that you're going to be coming out a better person, a better friend, have a better body, like all of these other things, like wouldn't you want to go in the pressure cooker? Like wouldn't you be ready? Like it's going to be intense, but I'm prepared because you have basically nothing to lose at this point.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that you have to lose is your old self. And that's why I was telling Juju this the other day, like, you gotta be okay with grieving that old version of yourself and say, like, I feel like some people are still hung up on the way that they looked in high school. Like, babe, put her to bed. Like, let her rest in peace. You're a new being.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be okay with putting that person to rest and like reclaiming yourself and stressing that if you want a certain something, the only person that's gonna give it to you is you. Deep, but like for real.
Yeah.
Super facts.
Like at the soul. Hits soul.
Super facts. But as we wind down, y'all, you know, week by week we expand on these conversations. So if you want to get in the room, you want to get in a safe space where you can express yourself, you can tell your stories, you can get advice on your stories, or you can just listen to other perspective, gems, healing testimonies, all of that good stuff. You are who you hang around. So week by week we put together the most powerful collective of women for free every single Wednesday. We don't miss a beat. And the conversations are only getting better. So if that's something you want to be a part of, go hit the link in the bio and register for this Wednesday. And we're going to expand on this self-image talk with our community. If you have questions, you can ask the three of us. We'll give you specific advice right then and there on the call. And it's just a family atmosphere that it can't be beat. So, yeah, y'all want to share some quick thoughts or testimony that you have from Boss Woman Wednesday before we hop off?
I just say too that also with Wednesday, the amount of wisdom in the room and like, the validation. Like, say you have other friends or other family members that you feel comfortable sharing with. These people literally play that role of validating, also recommending something. And there's so many different opinions that you get, a plethora of answers, and you feel good about just knowing that there are other options that people have made it to the other side of all these things. So it just feels again like where there's people in all different levels that are there for each other. Can't thank that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with so much of what you just said, Adriana, and it's such an amazing space to just go into feeling non-judged, where you can just honestly be so vulnerable. And even for me, like it's felt so expansive, like the conversations, just like the amount of connection that you feel just from joining one call, even if you don't know anyone on there, is just like so powerful. And it's something that like I can guarantee you will not experience anywhere else.
Amen.
Facts. These are the facts. But, you know, we're taking place 7 p.m. on Wednesday. And as always, if y'all have any questions on anything that you're hearing, whether you watch this 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 3 hours from now, DM us and ask us. Ask us questions as coaches, as transformational leaders. We love answering your questions. We love hearing from you. So we want to help you any way, shape, or form we can. And for sure, check out all the different offers that we have going on, because they're meant to transform you. Are they an investment? 110,000%, but they're going to transform you, and all of us are more than capable of getting you there. But other than that, this was a beautiful convo. Chef's kiss. But I appreciate y'all. Anybody watching on the other side, we love y'all. And like my grandma said, keep going, keep growing.
Bye.
Peace.